STAKK Nation, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Brazen.
Double O.
Uh, Today we're going to be talking about just UIs. I found this. I was browsing on Medium actually, and I came across this article.
What's a UI?
User interface for those of you who live under a cave. Anyway, as Bitcoin adoption is ongoing, right? There's various things that I think that can be done along the way. Anything we can do to facilitate the adoption of Bitcoin, right? I think it's always good.
Yep.
So, and this is something that I've this has crossed my mind as I've used multiple Bitcoin applications over the years and so on and so forth, and this I think there's probably maybe some Twitter Spaces around this as well. So I just thought this would be a fun one for us to just discuss it, right? And you guys also let us know what you think in the comments.
Actually, I like this topic because a lot of people say, "Oh, Bitcoin is not useful. You can't use it for anything." But that's because you're not in the space. If you're in the space, there's a ton of applications, real life applications.
Yeah, there's a lot of
already ongoing. It's almost like internet of the 90s.
Exactly.
Like you are behind if you just don't know.
Exactly. And I think part of it is like, at the end of the day, no matter how incredible something is, ease of use is always a plus, right? If you think of, because right now, like most Bitcoin applications, they just seem visually when you open them, right? They just seem complicated. Some of them seem boring. There's not much going on, which I get it. There's always the Maxis will ramp on about security, but listen, man, I think we can always try to find a medium of security and good looking, simplification. Let's put it that way.
It's a bunch of tech geeks. They are used to writing code, so when they see it the way they see it, it's okay. But
they're not marketing people.
Yeah, they're not UI UX.
Exactly.
Branding exercise people.
So then, what we're trying to discuss here then is, can an emphasis on a more interactive user interface help people better understand Bitcoin and increasing that adoption or the use of Bitcoin, right? Because if you think about stuff like Robinhood, literally, just the fact that when you add money to Robinhood and it does the confetti thing,
gamification,
scientifically
of money.
proven that makes people spend more money
in your brain.
Okay, there's a psychology behind
those guys must have gone to Vegas to study how to make people want to spend your money.
I mean, dude, these people, like, they every organization spends a crap ton of money on psychology,
branding,
and getting people to, even like before the branding, there's some psychology that goes behind it, right? It's like when you walk into a grocery store, there is a psychology behind the way things are placed to get you to buy more.
Is there a psychology behind our decor, 2023 decor?
There's no psychology behind it. We just are not great at decorating things. But
if you don't, come over.
We would like to let you know that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication as well. So as you look at it, you'll probably never see anything that looks better than this. But let's go back to the topic. Oh, that's where you're supposed to drop the bomb, bro.
Oh yeah, let me tell
you, over time, bro, you're going to learn that your brain has to be separated into two parts. Part of your brain has to be on your hand on that thing, so that you can, you know what I mean, hit it. But anyway, here's the thing, right? I mean, every organization spends a ton of money. If you look at Twitter, if you look at Instagram, right, there's a reason why these applications draw in people's attention so much. However, it's not always about just getting people to be on an app and spending time and spending money. So you can also use it for other things, right? So there's another side of this psychology, right, which is known as labor perception bias. So we can share a screen here.
Let's do it.
This article that we're going to be reading a bit from as well is Labor Perception Bias, Bitcoin Recovery Phases by Doc Sharp.
I like that name. I see a document and a sharp at the same time.
I mean, the guy is probably a genius.
It looks like it.
Doc Sharp. I like that. It's like brazen.
Yep.
Incredible. Anyway, how the labor perception bias may help people understand and appreciate the value of the Bitcoin recovery phrases. He's talking about the Bitcoin recovery phrases here. The labor perception bias states that people tend to trust and value things more when they see the underlying work that goes into making it, or that goes into it, right? So We can end screen share there.
Right.
But the whole idea behind this, just like on Robinhood, where when you deposit some money, you see that confetti thing, you get that dopamine hit, right? When people see an interface where there is work being done, I'll give you an example of this situation. Say if you when you go into McDonald's, right?
Yep.
You know, fast food activity.
Yep.
As you drive around, or if you walk in, you're like, hey, it's literally on the board.
Yep.
You want number 1, you want number 2.
It's visual.
Boom, it's in and out, right? But then imagine you go to like a Michelin
tire
rated,
stuff.
a Michelin rated restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. Right? You went to a top level restaurant, and there is this, steak there, and they're telling you about how, maybe Salt Bay is there that afternoon, right? He's sprinkling the salt from his dusty ass elbow onto your plate. Maybe he has now picked up the what did you call it? The entree on a knife, and he's now dangling it over your girlfriend's face or your wife's face, as you like to do. Which, by the way, man, if I was ever at a date and saw Big Man did that, I would take that knife back. I'll be like, give me the knife, and I'll cut his hair off. Not his head, but his hair. Shave him, you know what I mean? Let me clarify that one. Now. Come on.
Don't mess with Brenz's wife, y'all. When he gets one.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Now, imagine you get there and you're like, yo, Salt Bay, we want this exquisite, rare, meal here. And he's like, okay, cool, right? Then he goes, boom, boom, and he's out with it. Same time as McDonald's. You might feel,
or am I painful?
Yeah, like what is going on here?
What's the experience?
Exactly. Like, wait, this was pretty quick. Did you guys already have this just waiting on the side? But when it takes the time to make it, and you're like, oh man, when it finally comes out, you feel that level of satisfaction. Whether they were back there actually making it, or they just stood around for a while and then brought it out to you, you will never know. But there's a level of satisfaction you will feel, right? So in this article, Doc Sharp says, Bitcoin recovery phrases, also known as seed phrases or mnemonics, are a crucial aspect of securing one's Bitcoin. They are a set of words that are used to generate private key, in which in turn is used to access and controls one's Bitcoin. It's important that users value the importance of their recovery phrases, because if they lose access to the recovery phrase, obviously, they may permanently lose access to their Bitcoin.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
That's the biggest challenge for a lot of people trying to get their Bitcoin wallet or actually transact in Bitcoin in a more secure way. Just that security phase. For some reason, people just don't want to go through that.
Yeah, I think that it is the biggest blocker, right, to self-custody.
Correct.
Because if people go on Coinbase makes it look easy as heck. They don't have to try to think about it too much because it's laid out very simply for them. But the problem is now Coinbase is holding your Bitcoins.
And if you learn from the STAKK case, that Bitcoin is not yours.
Exactly.
It belongs to the exchange.
So, but here's the incredible thing. The Bitcoin apps that are out there, the self-custody apps, for example, they're very powerful. They work very well, right? But I think having just this applying a little bit of this perception bias, right? The labor perception bias is going to give people that sense of more work being done, right? So, for example, this is an example of something like that. Typically, when you try to set up a wallet, you might go from the left page there where it says recovery phrase, and it says grab a paper and pen, you need it, and then next thing you know, you hit next, and then boom, it just gives you all of your recovery phrases. But if you look at the in-between screen there, where we have the Salt Bay,
baby,
going on there, right? It says creating your unique recovery phrase, and maybe just an animation for a little while. As little as this is, the impact of this on the mind cannot be overstated. And so, as people develop, or as the developers create applications. What do you think? Do you think it's worth it to be adding some of this on there? What do you think this would do for adoption? I mean, because obviously, before we even look at the statistics, right? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I totally don't disagree. We've seen it work with Robinhood. We've seen it work in actual real life situations when you are buying, you're buying a Mercedes versus you're buying a Kia or whatever.
Or you're buying a Honda.
Yeah, the introduction, the entry into it, and the extra attention to detail.
Yeah.
Explaining it to the customer along the way. I think makes a major impact.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is probably why Porsche flies people out to Germany.
Yeah, part of the experience.
When I buy a Porsche one day, man, I needed people to send a private jet, come pick me up.
If you're getting a Ferrari, I think that's possible.
Yeah, but Ferrari is too bougie, man. Too bougie for me. Anyway, it's been shown, right? That a well-designed labor perception bias can increase an app's view, or at least the value of I guess interaction with it. Let's put it that way, right? So you can increase the app's perceived value by over 15%, as you can see here. And this is also combined with better in-app communication, where they use effective communication messages to let people know what exactly is happening,
what
step of the process you're in. And so on and so forth, right? I don't think that is too much I don't think that is also a security issue for Bitcoin adoption or self-custody.
You know what does that best? Apple
does that great. Yeah, absolutely. They definitely do. Right. And so having this...
By the way, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you seen the Apple Wallet?
Yeah, I saw that. I haven't looked into it, to be honest, so I don't want to really say too much about it. But it seems like, like I told you at the time you showed me, I was like, it looks like it's nice for carrying CBDCs. I'm actually thinking of going with a cold card. You know what I mean? We're cranking it back, man.
Oh.
So, yeah. But I think that, this will be something that will be very helpful, right? To just simplify how people interact with Bitcoin, right? And make it easier. They say things should be so easy your mother can do it.
Why does it have to be your mother?
Because our mothers are old. But at the same time, or it should be so easy that Klaus Schwab can transfer the Bitcoin.
So see,
yeah. So, what are your thoughts on implementing labor perception bias in the Bitcoin ecosystem? And what are some things that you struggle with when interacting with Bitcoin? Let us know down in the comments. Final thoughts down below.
Bro, we have done it again.
Yeah,
If you have not liked and subscribed,
yes, sir,
go ahead and do that right now. Comment. We want to know what you guys think about the Bitcoin space. If you use your Bitcoin, if you interact with the technology, we just did a video about that just now. The technology is live and action. And we're just here talking about how to make it simple, easier to use, user-friendly, user experience, all that good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Absolutely.
Come back for more. That's just what we do here.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, like, share, subscribe. Present out.
Double O.